We're here with Barbara Enright. Barbara, you've been inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, and you have one of the most enviable poker tournament records in history. What's the first thing you do when you first take a seat in a tournament?
Well, the first thing I do is try to analyze the table and see who I know and how I'm going to play against them. And then I also try to analyze my own play, which a lot of people don't do. They sit down at the table and they think, oh, what a bunch of donkeys. And everybody else might be thinking the same thing about them, that they're the donkey. So you don't want to be that donkey. You want your opponents to fear you. And to do that, you can't let them run over you. You have to run over them. So what I try to do is I try to win the first hand I play so I have chips to manipulate the rest of the table. I got to get chips first. I try to play very tight in the beginning until I get double up and then quadruple up, and then I can run over the table, and then they'll fear me.
So you're saying that it's very important once you've gathered chips, and you always try to do that in the beginning. It may take some time, so you need some patience. But once you've done that, you use these chips to intimidate your opponents.
Exactly. I use my chips as a hammer and my opponents as nails.
I like that. That's very good. But you're saying when you first sit down, Barbara, what you do is you look around you, and maybe you've seen some of these players play before, and those ones, then you have an idea how they play, and otherwise you're going to study them. And you say it's not a good idea to just look at all your opponents as donkeys because perhaps they're dangerous?
Exactly, Mike. Sometimes an opponent sees me as a loose player because I'll start getting aggressive when I have a lot of chips, and I will play more hands, and they'll try to check raise me, which they used to do a lot. And now I know what they think of me, so I'm going to change my play. So I'm not going to let them check raise me. I'm going to just check right behind them if I don't have anything, because I'm not going to give them that opportunity.
So not only do you try to study your opponents or remember what you've learned about them in the past, but you are aware that they have some perceptions about you.
Exactly. And the ones that, sometimes I can tell by just the remarks they make at the table, like they'll check to me, and I'll check, oh, you didn't bet that? Well, I know these are the kind of people that are expecting me to bet, so I will bet when I have something. In fact, I'll value bet when I have something, just so they'll call me with their ace high or their 2 4s. If they're expecting me to bet, if they think I'm a loose player that'll bet anything.
So this is all part of setting your stage, which has been so successful for you, for your future plays in the tournament then.
That's right.
And you do it from the very get-go. That's very interesting. I think most world-class players actually do start setting the stage from the very beginning, as you do. You know, there are not just one-buy tournaments, but there are also rebuy tournaments. I was curious to know what you think about rebuy tournaments.
Well, personally, Mike, I don't like rebuys that much, but sometimes they're worth playing, because sometimes there's a huge guarantee for a small buy-in, and it's just worth it. There's a good overlay. So I think if you feel there's enough players and enough money in the prize pool that, say the tournament is $100 with a rebuy and there's a $100,000 guarantee, if you think getting to the top money is worth $200 or $300, then I would say rebuy, but I wouldn't rebuy late in the tournament.